Hey, good afternoon everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Well, today I'm going to change these all the filters on this reverse osmosis system. It's an iSpring system, and besides changing every one of these filters, I'm going to also change the reverse osmosis membrane, which is right in here. I'm now at over a year of using the membrane. It's still doing very well. Got about 9 months on all of these filters, which is fantastic. And I'll show you what my criteria has been, which is mostly about the production. It's still producing fine. The pressure is down a little bit, so I know that the filters are starting to get kind of clogged up. The water is still perfect, but it takes a little bit longer now for everything. It takes longer for it to process through the system, and takes it longer to disperse. So it's going to be a changing day. Going to get it all changed. The system works absolutely fantastic, and I'm going to show you what these filters look like. And if you can see this one right here, the only one that's visible, you can see I have a pretty good algae buildup. That's definitely slowing things down. It's not hurting anything. That gets filtered out. Any algae that could make it past that is definitely getting filtered out through the rest of it. But it is slowing it down a little bit. So I'm going to show you what the rest of the filters look like after 9 months, and what that reverse osmosis membrane back in there looks like after over a year. So it's been doing great, happy. Today we're going to change it all up. And as you can see, it's just, the stream has really slowed down. So it just takes a lot longer, but it's still really great drinking water from the rain catchment system. Okay, I'm going to fill this up, and then I'm going to tear it apart, replace everything. So here's the first 3 stages pulled off. As you can see, this one definitely needs to be changed. The inside of it, I haven't cleaned it yet. It was developing a little algae on the inside as well. The second stage, nothing to really be observed as it's covered up. But when I looked on the inside, see if I can get a shot of that, there is some of a little bit of the carbon part of the filter that's starting to gather. So I think a changing is in order. And then here's the third stage, and you can see it was developing a little bit of carbon buildup here on the seal, and nothing really to be seen on the outside of the stage 3 filter either. But same thing in the water. This is the water that was in the system. Now I've got it moving, so it's a little harder to see. Let that settle a minute. And you can see in there that it was starting to leach out some part of its carbon material as well. So I think I pushed the life on these about as far as I possibly can. I was never seeing any of this, of course, in the drinking water. The RO membrane was stopping everything that might be getting passed, and I don't know exactly what was being passed from one to the other, although it's just a, with the 8 stages that it has, this is just part of the process. So I'm going to slap the new ones in and pull the other parts off and take a look at those as well. Okay, and this is what they look like all cleaned up with new filters in. I like to do it in this order, so I always remember first stage, second stage, third stage, and I lay it out in the order that it is assembled back onto the device, just so I don't ever get confused about that. So there's what a new one of those pre-filters looks like compared to that. So everything's going to fill up a lot faster, and then fill up my water jug a lot faster as well. So I push these pretty good. And now it's all cleaned up. Cleans up nice just with some water and a paper towel. Get everything nice and sparkling clean again, inside and out of all of them. Real easy. So I'm going to put those on and pull the rest of it off and take a peek at that. Okay, got the first 3 stages reinstalled, and I misspoke. I said it was an 8-stage system before. It's actually a 7-stage system. I bought it originally as a 6-stage system, but added the UV light up here for a 7th stage for extra protection. So now I'm going to go ahead and take off this, and the membrane in here, and we'll see what they nothing will be able to be seen in this, and this looks still really clean here. You can actually see nothing really happening there, but I'm going to change them out anyway since I'm changing everything, and the only thing I won't change, like I said, is that light, because it's a fairly new light and it should last at least a year. So going together real easy, and let's pop those other things off real quick. Okay, everything is back in place. These 3, the alkaline filter, this particular one, which takes out any like chlorine taste if you're on chlorine water. We don't have that problem here. We're filtering rainwater, so it's kind of a conditioner. It works real well. Don't really need it. Light's doing good. Replace the membrane, and I'll show you what was interesting about that membrane. Now, of course, the end element of the membrane looks a little more dingy in color, and I was kind of surprised to find a couple of strands of algae there. Of course, it never made it into the drinking water, but I didn't expect to find anything that far down the stage. But the water's been, like I said, really good. So here's all the old stuff. Everything replaced. And now we're going to turn it on and make sure we don't have any leaks. One thing I forgot to mention is before you start to change any of your filters on one of these systems, bleed off all the water from your faucet and out of your pressure tank, storage tank. Take that off, and it makes unscrewing all of these much easier. So here we go. Let's turn the water on. There it is, quickly filling up. Fantastic flow. Of course, we can't see it run through the other elements. And I can tell you right now, though, it's running through the system much faster than the older filters. I can tell that the pump is running smoothly and continuously, where before it started to run a little intermittently. I'm not sure you'll be able to hear it, but I can hear the water moving through everything. Checking all the connections that we've made, everything snaps back into place real good. No leaks, no leaks, no leaks. Under pressure, no leaks. Everything looking good. So we're going to let that start to fill up the now empty storage tank, and we'll see how long it takes. Okay, so it took an hour and 40 minutes to fill up this 3-gallon holding tank. And after you've filled it up for the first time, after you've replaced all of the filters, you want to go ahead and drain that tank completely one time to flush out any of the little carbon dust or coconut husk dust that's in that spring water thing, or housing. It's not a thing, but anyway, so now we're going to go ahead and empty it one time and show you the difference of the stream coming out of it. And one other thing I wanted to show you, it says, you know, for the ultraviolet light purification part, which is the 7th stage on this system, that as long as that green light's coming on there, it's still working fine. I never totally trusted that, but I want to show you one other thing. If you come out here at night in the pitch of dark, and you look at these fittings here on your ultraviolet light, these will be glowing green. The ultraviolet light kind of permeates this plastic housing or fitting on both ends, and these will be green that are highly visible at night. You can't see it. It's on right now. You can't see it in the daytime, but I wanted to point that out in case you're ever wondering if your light element is still working in there. That green light is supposed to be on there, and then if you look here at night, these will be green too. So I'm going to come up here and turn this on, empty this tank out. And there's, of course, pushing out some air at the moment as well, since everything is new. And here we go. So nice stream coming out. We'll drain that tank completely one time, and then let it fill up again, and then it's ready to go. So I'm just going to see here real quick if I can see any sediment in there. Just looks a little bubbly right now. So here you can see this water is crystal clear except for a few air bubbles as that system's pumping out all the excess air on the first time use. But it's fine, but I've gone ahead and drained that entire tank. It's going to refill up again, and then it's good to go. Last thing I wanted to show you, this is the pump that I'm using, a C-Flow 12 volt water pump to deliver the water through the RO system. And the only problem I've had with this, it works great, but there's a switch, this little switch here, and it fits inside this housing, that black housing there. I've had a couple of those burn out, and the reason is on this little prong right there, inside there's a wire at the end of it is connected to this that slips over this. If there's any kind of looseness to this connection, when the pump vibrates, it'll burn that switch out. And I've done that a couple of times, and the remedy is just when you slip this on there inside the housing, just take some needle nose pliers and crimp this part of it on there to where there is absolutely no way, if it's jiggling, it gets any kind of, like this thing, vibration. That's been the killer of this. Other than that, this thing works fantastic. If it ever does fail a switch, these are very cheap and easy to replace. You can kind of see where that one, got fried. Anyway, other than that, this has been a great little system here. 45 psi, which is what they say you should be using at least to drive that RO system. So it works very well. All right, everybody. Hope you found something informational about that and enjoyed it. And I will catch you all later. Aloha.